Oh my God! You guys won't believe what's happening. Demi Moore's name just dropped into this absolutely wild scandal that could totally shake up Hollywood as we know it. We're talking secret footage, underground parties with underage guests, and, get this, connections to Diddy's notorious gatherings. I'm telling you, if even half of this turns out to be true, it'll completely change how we see Hollywood's elite.
Okay, one more time.
After he starts hanging out with Diddy, then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with her daughters.
So here's the tea. Lawyer Tony Busby has been spilling major tea about Diddy's parties, and the list of celebs he's naming just keeps getting longer. And guess whose name keeps popping up? Yep, Demi Moore. Like, can you even? Busby claims there's actual footage out there linking some megastars to Diddy's underground scene, and trust me, it's not pretty. We're not just talking about typical celebrity hangouts. These parties allegedly had everything from hidden cameras to illegal activities and underage guests.
I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against.
Let's spill some more tea. Demi's always been in the spotlight for controversy, but this is next level. And if this footage actually exists, oh my God, it could expose a side of Hollywood's elite that's been kept under wraps for years. Okay, let me break this down for you. Demi Moore and Diddy seemed like such an unlikely duo back then, right? Like she was this huge movie star slaying in Ghost while he was running the hip-hop world. But honey, if you dig deeper, these two crossed paths way more than anyone realized. They were spotted at exclusive Hollywood events, showing up at the same parties, and suddenly their friendship didn't seem so weird anymore. But here's where it gets super juicy. Now that all these allegations are coming out, people are wondering if Demi's connection to Diddy was way more than just friendly hangouts. And with Busby dropping these bombs, Chile, fans are questioning everything. And OMG, let me tell you about something even more shocking. In this super revealing Good Morning America interview, Demi opened up about this absolutely horrifying thing that happened to her at 15. Like, my heart literally breaks. She said this man in her home claimed her mother took $500 to let him. I can't even. And get this, her mom would actually take her to bars as a teenager to attract men. Can you imagine? Now with Demi's name popping up in this Diddy scandal, everyone's wondering if her traumatic past somehow led her down this dark path. Some fans think these painful experiences might have pushed her into Diddy's circle, where similar power dynamics were at play.
Within me, I was in a place that was thinking, wow, how did I get in here? Isn't this interesting? And then my very next thought was, oh, I wonder if I can get out.
And honey, buckle up because it gets even messier. Remember that super uncomfortable clip from when Demi was younger? She was caught on camera kissing her 16-year-old co-star Philip Tanzini. And trust me, it wasn't just some innocent birthday peck. The way she leaned in, people are saying it looked way too intense. Like, what? And let's talk about her relationship with Ashton Kutcher. The 16-year age gap had everyone talking back then. But now, with all these rumors about underage guests at Diddy's parties, people are side-eyeing everything about Demi's history with younger men.
Like my addiction to Ashton, and that was probably almost more devastating.
Absolutely.
Because it took me seriously away emotionally.
OMG, and you won't believe this next part. When Demi started dating Ashton, he and Diddy were literally besties. They were all over Hollywood together, clubbing, partying, and Diddy even called their squad the Rat Pack with Jamie Foxx. But here's the tea. When Ashton got serious with Demi, Diddy started dropping hints that their relationship was totally killing their wild party vibe. Like, was Ashton accidentally pulling Demi deeper into Diddy's world than anyone realized? Fast Fast forward to now. And honey, this scandal is getting messy. With Busby spilling all this tea, Demi's connection to Diddy is looking way more complicated than anyone thought. We're not just talking about some innocent friendship anymore. People are asking what she might have seen or gasp even done at these parties. And y'all, Diddy's legal drama is reaching a whole new level. These charges aren't your typical Hollywood scandal. We're talking serious allegations about illegal activities and underage guests at his infamous parties. If he's found guilty, baby, we're talking life behind bars.
Addiction is in the history of my family.
Let me spill some more tea about Demi's life because it's been anything but easy. Growing up around addiction and trauma, she even had to save her mom from an overdose. Can you imagine? And when she married Ashton, chilly, things got even messier. After 20 whole years of staying sober, she felt pressured to fit in with Ashton's younger crowd. In her memoir, she admitted that during a trip to Mexico, Ashton convinced her to break her sobriety. From there, everything just spiraled.
Do you know how fierce you are?
I just think, wow, that was a long time ago. I have to read.
And get this, during her marriage to Ashton, Demi spilled that they had this open boundary relationship. Like, they were inviting third parties into their marriage. She later said she totally regretted it because it messed with their trust. But here's what everyone's whispering about now. Did this whole open boundary thing extend into Diddy's scene? Was Demi getting pulled into something way darker while living her wild Hollywood life? Even Ashton dropped some major hints about knowing more than he's letting on. In this Hot Ones interview, when they asked about Diddy's parties, he got all nervous and was like, "There's a lot I can't tell. Like, what did Ashton see? And was Demi right there with him?"
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either.
OMG, and here's the bombshell. Busby is saying he has actual footage that could link celebrities like Demi directly to these parties. Everyone's literally holding their breath waiting to see if it's true. We're talking about Demi Moore's whole reputation being on the line here.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either.
First of all, surprised, haven't heard from him.
I'm not entirely surprised. You know, I think there's a whole slew of people that P. Diddy had interactions with or worked with over the years that are hesitant to come forward. I think there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons is, what will this sort of association do for my public image? You know, a lot of celebrities, I think, really rely heavily on their public image.
And speaking of scandals, let's spill the tea about Ashton Kutcher. Y'all won't believe this. Apparently, he's been hiding something major for years. Get this, he's been besties with Diddy, who just got arrested for trafficking, and the plot thickens. People are speculating that Ashton might have been using his anti-trafficking organization to actually help Diddy. And supposedly, Mila Kunis knew everything.
Going back to Ashton Kutcher, is there a possibility he's already spoken with the government and we just don't know?
There's a possibility. You know, we don't know the extent of how much prosecutors have been working behind the scenes. Again, I think this is something they've been working on really throughout the majority of this year, ever since Cassie's lawsuit came out in November of last year. So it's possible. It's possible they've spoken to him behind the scenes. And
Chile, let me tell you about Ashton and Diddy's history. These two first crossed paths back in the early 2000s during Ashton's MTV Punk'd days. Ashton tried to prank Diddy during Making the Band, but honey, Diddy wasn't having it. He called Ashton up and basically shut that whole thing down.
I gave him a call one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. I
don't think that's the way you said it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, then you tell the story.
I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. Okay. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
But here's where it gets wild. When Diddy named Ashton one of Time magazine's most influential people, He was gushing about how they're like yin and yang, called Ashton his sounding board and everything. But with all these allegations flying around, Ashton's suspicious silence is speaking volumes.
First of all, surprised? Haven't heard from him?
I'm not entirely surprised. You know, I think there's a whole slew of people that P. Diddy had interactions with or worked with over the years that are hesitant to come forward. I think there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons is, what will this sort of association do for my public image? You know, a lot of celebrities, I think, really rely heavily on their public image. And with that comes, you know, financial ramifications, you know, possible loss of opportunities, brands that might not want to work with you if they come forward and, you know, possibly defend him or maybe try to, you know, explain some of his actions. So I think there's that, but then I also think there's probably a hesitancy for a lot of people to be called, even as witnesses, even if they didn't partake in any of these activities, to provide information. I think a lot of people are hesitant to come forward with that because that comes with a lot of other forms of exposure and, you know, responsibility.
And OMG, y'all need to hear about this old interview that's resurfacing. Back in 2019, Sean Evans tried to get Ashton to spill the tea about Diddy's parties on Hot Ones, but Ashton totally clammed up, like completely changed the subject.
Party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
Can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
The internet is going crazy over this. One person wrote, Kutcher smirking and saying he has a lot he can't tell speaks volumes. And now people are side-eyeing his anti-trafficking organization. Like, how can you claim to help people when your bestie is accused of these horrible things? Speaking of receipts, let me tell you about the indictment. It says Diddy and his crew used their power to lure victims in, often pretending it was for romance. Then they'd use force and threats to make victims do things with male workers. They called them freak-offs. And get this, Ashton helped organize one of Diddy's white parties in Beverly Hills back in 2009. And honey, Ashton's past isn't exactly squeaky clean. Remember that whole mess with Danny Masterson? In 2017, Ashton and Mila wrote these character letters supporting him, even after he was accused of assaulting 2 women. Like, who does that?
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
The backlash was so bad that both Ashton and Mila had to step down from Thorn. You know, that anti-trafficking organization Ashton started with Demi Moore back in 2009. Talk about karma. But wait, it gets even creepier. Let's talk about what happened with Ashton's girlfriend, Ashley Ellen, back in 2001. He showed up 2 hours late to their date, saw red stains on her carpet through the window, and just left. Those weren't just stains, they were blood. She had been stabbed 47 times.
Looks like Chrissy Bixler wasn't the first person to call Ashton Kutcher out for what happened on February 21st, 2001. Chrissy has a friend named Aaron Smith-Levin, posted a video to YouTube 7 months ago talking about what really happened that night. According to him, Aaron Smith alleges that Ashton Kutcher walked into the house that night, saw Ashley Ellen on the floor, blood everywhere, walked out, sat in his car for an hour, freaked out, calling his team on what to do. His team told him not to call the police so that his name wouldn't be tied to the murder. Aaron said at the time Ashton Kutcher had been on That 70s Show for a few years, so they were afraid this could tarnish his name. After speaking to his team, he alleges that Ashton Kutcher calls Danny Masterson, which is the same thing as what Chrissy says. And on top of that, Aaron alleged that Ashton's team told him to go to the party that he was supposed to take Ashley to. He also said that it would have been impossible for Ashton Kutcher to see red wine stains on the carpet from the window. Not only would it have been too dark in the house, but you had to go in to see where the blood was. And he said that Ashton Kutcher not only lied, but police knew he lied. And had he not lied, it could have stopped Michael from again because he would have been caught and arrested.
And here's the gag. Chrissy Carnell Bixler dropped this bomb on Instagram saying she heard everything about that night. She wrote, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you. You were on speakerphone that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything."
You know what's funny is when she was 14 when we started the show. I was like 19, right?
Right.
And they're like, "Okay, you guys are going to be making out in this scene." And I'm like thinking like, wait, this is like slightly illegal,
that's
right?
probably your first kiss ever, right?
It was my first kiss. Where's someone bet you made with Danny about our first kiss?
No, it wasn't the first kiss.
No,
It was like
go
a
ahead,
second or
Ashton.
third kiss.
It was the first. It was like the first week.
No, it was not the first week.
Whatever. Let me tell you what happened.
No, let me tell you what happened.
No, okay, 'cause I've never kissed a guy. So I was so. I mean, you know, Ash was attractive, and I was a 14-year-old little girl, and I was extremely scared for my life.
Sure.
And he was very nice about it. He was like, "Oh, don't worry." So I was like, "Okay." Then Danny goes and goes, "Dude, I'll give you $10 if you French kiss her." What would you stick your tongue in my mouth or some?
Now people are wondering if all this drama is affecting Ashton's marriage to Mila. They were spotted separately with their kids in LA right after Diddy's arrest, and everyone's wondering if divorce is on the horizon. But their people are saying it's absolutely ridiculous and false. According to insiders, Ashton's trying to distance himself from this whole Diddy mess. Like, they're saying he doesn't belong in this conversation and only saw Diddy at a handful of social and business events. But Chile, we all know there's more to this story.
Going back to Ashton Kutcher, is there a possibility he's already spoken with the government and we just don't know?
There's a possibility, you know, we don't know the extent of how much prosecutors have been working behind the scenes. Again, I think this is something they've been working on really throughout the majority of this year, ever since Cassie's lawsuit came out in November of last year. So it's possible they've spoken to him behind the scenes, and I think prosecutors will probably be really keen to not reveal what high-profile individuals they've spoken with, just to keep the investigation contained and be able to kind of go on and gather more information.
And get this tea. According to the prosecutor's letter, they've already interviewed over 50 victims and witnesses. The government says this is just the beginning. More people are coming forward every day.
We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together. And he came over, and I was like, "I'm going for a run." He was like, "Oh, I'll go for a run with you." And so he comes over to go for a run.
So I guess I never realized how close Ashton Kutcher is with P. Diddy. I had no idea that they had been friends for years, and Ashton Kutcher used to attend Diddy's white parties. Like, Diddy and Ashton have been close even back when he was married to Demi Moore. And
more backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
OMG. And let's not forget about all those rumors about Diddy's special relationships with other male celebs. We've heard about Meek Mill, Usher, Ja Rule, and now Ashton's name is in the mix.
I called one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, then you tell the story.
I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
Please don't punk me.
Party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, "Yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me," and I was like, "I don't want to tell you, everybody's on the table." He's like, "Not me, I'm off the table." And so that started our conversation.
Let me spill some more tea about these wild parties. Jaguar Wright exposed how Diddy would invite young artists, promising them the world. She told this crazy story about a female lawyer walking in on Christopher Williams putting on quite the show for Diddy.
Right, because P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no.
She witnessed something. She witnessed something that was disturbing to her. But what was really disturbing to her was the conversation that she had with Diddy after. See, Christopher Williams, I don't know, I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork, see. And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing for on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just
what they call puffy flavor camp.
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like? I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. It was pretty wild. There were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily...
And y'all won't believe this. Even Fabulous had to make a bathroom escape because things got too wild. Even Luke from 2 Live crew ran out saying it was too much.
Did you party with Diddy a lot?
Oh, no, not really. I would go to the party and leave early. Why wouldn't you stay? I go to the party and leave early. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on after hours, but
he wasn't trying to find out.
I wasn't trying to find out.
So what do y'all think? Is Ashton really innocent in all this, or has he been hiding some major secrets? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to watch our next video. We've got even more shocking tea to spill. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for all the latest updates because, honey, this story is far from over. You are watching Sophie Scoop. Goodbye. Scoop. Goodbye.